Hi, good evening. This is Kenya Rockman, the author and founder of the Child Support Hustle and the Reform Child Support Now movement. I wanted to talk this evening about child support and it being a welfare recovery program. I've discussed this numerous times, written about it, but people still I don't know if they choose to ignore or don't want to believe that it is a welfare recovery program. And the reason why it's so important that this is discussed and known is because parents, some non-parents, are still being arrested and jailed for owing child support debt. That is essentially money not for the kids that it's allegedly intended for. It is for government gains. I'm gonna give a couple seconds. I usually don't get started right away, but I won't be on here too long. I just want to go over some stats and just share the information with you all. If you want to go read any of my blogs that I've written, you can go to theChildSupportHustle.com. You can order my book there, a t-shirt, show your support, you can donate. Please sign the petition. One of the important reforms on the petition that I've listed is the repeal of the Bradley Amendment. I'll go into that and why it's so important that we repeal it. If we want to get any child support reform, we have to repeal the Bradley Amendment. That has to be front and center. So first off, child support is a welfare recovery program. Any child support owed while the family receives TANF or welfare benefits or other government benefits based on the state is owed to the government. So essentially, when you go in and apply for public benefits, TANF is mandatory, Medicaid mandatory in every state, except if there's a good cause, if there's domestic violence or something like that, a good cause for you not to sue the other parent for child support. Other than that, you have to sue. Some states require you to sue for food stamps, for child care, and benefits like that. But I wrote, again, you can go to my blog on thechildsupporthustle.com, and I specify what states require you to sue for child support when you apply for what benefits. Okay, so what the government is essentially doing is paying out awards that are paid for by tax dollars. Welfare is already paid for in grants to the custodial parent, but they force the custodial parent to sue the non-custodial parent for child support. So they're essentially getting a double payment. They're getting the tax dollars and the child support. And if that parent is receiving TANF or any benefits, they have to, 9 times out of 10, they have to work for those benefits. So they're also getting volunteers or free labor. So they're getting the money 3 times for this one welfare award or benefit. And a lot of times after they sue, when they file the lawsuit, the custodial parent has already signed over their rights to any child support collections, future, present or future, while they're on that system, over to the state. So they go to court, they take them to court. A lot of times people don't even know that they've been sued. Parents, I'm gonna say guys, because the majority of the fellas don't know that they have been sued. So I want you guys to go and get a copy of your case file. If you have a default judgment and you weren't in court, go and make sure that they legally served you the child support complaint. If they didn't serve you, they don't have a case. So they what they do is after they sue for child support, they get a default judgment. And that default judgment is by law making that person, by operation of law, liable to that child support order. But it's not you're not liable to the custodial parent, you're liable to the state. And this is why I want to bring in the Bradley Amendment and why we need to repeal it. The Bradley Amendment was introduced, well, it was amended in 2008, and it basically says, it mandates that states have laws to make child support a judgment by operation of law. This judgment by operation allows automated enforcement, bank attachments, and garnishments, because now it's a legal document, it's a lawsuit. And here's the key: they are prohibited from retroactive modifications of the arrears. That's crucial, because when these default judgments go in effect, first of all, a lot of these times the income is imputed, meaning that if they don't have an income on record, if the non-custodial parent isn't there, they're going to take what they feel that person should be making based on their age, based on their area, the demographics. And we all know every 20-year-old doesn't make the same amount of money. So whatever they come up with imputed is going on that child support order. So if they're going back retroactively, they'll go back, say your child is 10 years old, they're going to go back 10 years per month that child support was owed. And sometimes they'll even try to sue you for, or try to include the birthing costs. Okay, so that's when you hear people owe $20,000, $30,000 in child support. It's because 9 times out of 10, it's because of the Bradley Amendment and them going back retroactively. And this Bradley Amendment makes it nearly impossible to get your arrears erased. So in my case, he owed approximately $30,000. Wasn't to me, it's to the state. And of course, if you follow me or follow the page, you know it took me 8 years of fighting them. They did not want to close my case. It wasn't as easy as going in there and saying, I want this cut, I want this terminated, I want these arrears erased. I had to fight really hard to get them to close the case and to terminate or erase those arrears. And I actually put my court papers in the back of my book, like in the appendixes. So again, with the Bradley Amendment, retroactive modification of arrears alters the obligor's obligation without concurrence of the obligee or the state if support is assigned. So basically, you guys the parents have nothing to do with it. This is all state. This is all the government. So the retroactive modification expressly prohibited by Section 466A9C of the Social Security Act and 45 CFR 303.106. When you hear people talk about Title 4D, and they get this money for Title 4D for child support, this is what they're talking about, the Social Security Act. It's all part of the welfare program. And I included in the link, they put out a blog or an article saying that child support is one of their best investments, one of the government's best investments, because they make so much money on this program. That's why it's so hard for us to get reform and why we need to fight even harder. I'm gonna tell y'all the numbers in a minute, but that's the reason, because this money is for the government. It's not for the kids. Okay, judges can unilaterally reduce arrears by choice prior to 1986. Okay, so before that, they could go back, but they changed that because people were getting their arrears reduced because medical, you can get sick, lose your job, whatever happens. So they would before erase your arrears. So then they passed this Bradley Amendment and makes it damn near impossible. So you're always on the hook. You start off in debt, and it's pretty much for a lifetime. And I want new parents to know, like if you need to get public assistance or something like that, make sure that you guys both know that any money that the non-custodial parent pays will not come to you, depending on the state that you're in. I'll go over that in a minute. Okay, so the federal government's interest is contingent upon the state's collection of the debt. And I got this off of the Clinton Library. So this came off of the library, the Clinton Library. So I just want y'all to know about that. So that's why it's so important that we fight for the repeal of the Bradley Amendment. So if you guys get a chance, go over to our website and Well, you should go, McTad, I think, you should go and get a copy of your case file and look and see at the, look for the process server for the complaint. If it says that you signed and you didn't sign, if they delivered it to an address that you didn't live at, if you didn't get that complaint, you need to fight that, because if you don't have a chance to sign for the complaint, meaning you didn't have a right to go to court and defend yourself against them suing you, saying basically you don't take care of your kid. That's what the lawsuit is. They're saying you don't support your kids, so they have to, and you have to, and now they're suing you. But if you don't have the, just like in any lawsuit, you have a right to defend yourself. That's for child support too. So go get your case file and make sure that they served you. If they didn't, file for a dismissal. You want your case dismissed. They don't have a case. Okay, so I wanted to also go over the arrears. Why arrears? That's why arrears are so high, because one, they're retroactive. Two, they can't be erased because of the Bradley Amendment. And well, 1 and 2. So in 2016, the arrears were $114 billion. That's what they reported. But current support owed was only $34 billion. So that's all that interest that they charge, because it's a judgment. Now they can charge interest. And 56K, yeah, check that out. Oh, and another thing, you guys, when you just because they say you owe X amount of dollars, don't take that for face value. Ask them for an itemized statement. Make them prove that you owe what they say that you owe. Anybody can say, oh, you owe $50,000. Well, prove it. Just to put it on a piece of paper and say this is what you owe, that's not proof. Tell them you want an itemized statement from the beginning of the child support order till today, to today, and you want them to verify. If not, you dispute all of it. And they're going to tell you, no, we can't give you that. Yes, they can. That's their job. And if you need a modification, I'm getting a lot of people asking me about modifications, saying that you have to do, if they're every 3 years. I did a video about this, and I went over all the criteria for a modification, and one of them is if you have a change in circumstance of 10% or more. If you have a default judgment, meaning that you didn't go to court and they imputed your income and now you want to report your income, that is a significant change in circumstance. They didn't have information and now they do. So fight them. Go above their head if you have to. If they say, no, we can't do this, let me speak to your supervisor. I'm telling y'all, y'all have to fight. You have to be vigilant and fight these people, because this is their bread and butter. When I tell you this money that they get, y'all gonna understand. And I put this information out all the time. I did those slides, and that's why I did those slides for every state, so everybody can see. For federally, for every dollar that they spend, they make $5.33. And it's different all across the country, but they're getting money back for every $1 they spend. But our kids still live in poverty. So the poverty, children living in poverty has not dropped because of this program, because it's not for the kids. So currently 27 states can but refuse to pass through child support collected if the parent is receiving TANF. So if you're receiving a $350 monthly check or TANF payment for you and 2 children, and your ex is paying $700, you're only going to get that $350. The rest is getting pocketed by the government, and you don't have a right to it because you signed your rights over. Okay, so here's a breakdown of the money that they've collected. Oh, this is for 2016. So never assisted collected cases, they collect, okay, never assisted child support cases, they collected over a little over 11 billion. They kept 32 million. So that's not even if you don't even get welfare or TANF, they're still keeping 32 million for what? That's money, that's your kid, that's your money. If you're formally assisted and they collect, and if you are formally assisted on TANF, They collected approximately $9 billion, and they kept almost $250 million of that. If you applied for Medicaid but never had any TANF assistance, they collected $7 billion and kept $20 million of that. And if you're currently receiving assistance, they collected $771 million and kept a little over $500 million. That's a lot of paper. That's a lot of money. And it's even more disturbing because they're still arresting parents. As I keep saying, I still can't believe that nobody is saying anything about them violating due process rights, arresting parents that can't afford to pay these astronomical arrears. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't know about you guys, but just somebody came, I'm working, and they're taking 65, 70% of a lot of people's income. And then they want them to come up with a grand or $2 grand to keep them out of jail. That's illegal. And they're still doing it. And somebody just died, a parent just died on the 8th, I believe, being locked up. $20,000 is what they were charging him in monthly support or something crazy. That's ridiculous. And maybe that wasn't a welfare recovery case, but it all applies. They were still getting some of that money, and now the kids don't have a dad. So in addition to the money that they keep, in addition, they get incentive money, which totaled $480 million. Then they collected fees on top of that for $32 million. This is all in 1 year, 2016. Then you have undistributed collections, which total $581 million. We don't know what they do with that money. It's just that they'll report it, but I don't know what. That's just, to me, free money, because it just sits there. I've been monitoring it for a lot of years, and the pot grows. I've never seen it go down to zero to where they've paid it to somebody. For all we know, it's just sitting there. They've already spent it, and they're just reporting that it's there. Who knows? Because there's no accountability. Okay, so if you have any questions specific to your state as to if they passed through any to the TANF families, you can go through the photos, there's slides there. I'm going to compose all of them and put them in a booklet format, so y'all can just download it if you want it. And let me see if I went over the Bradley Amendment. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys today. I did want to go over that and see. Hi, Jashawn. Hi, Reggie. Hi, Chuck. Just wanted to go over that. It was on my mind, and I wanted to just talk about it, like, just call it what it is. It's a welfare recovery program, and they are really taking advantage. And when I say the child support hustle, a lot of people get it misinterpreted and thinking I'm talking about a parent hustling another parent. I'm talking about the government is hustling the child support hustle. They are robbing parents, and then they're taking freedom, not just money. They're robbing parents for their freedom, their lives, their children, because they don't enforce visitation. They make sure it's separate, because that's a whole other pot of money that they collect. So with this father dying this month, I wanted to come on and just reiterate to everybody what's going on here. I mean, there's lives at stake here, and that's why myself and other people, my team, we fight so hard for child support reform. And I'm really asking you guys to please send your letters. I have a letter that I have a template. If you want the link, just email me. I'll send it to you. It's contact@thechildsupporthustle.com. If you have any specific questions, we have a form on the website that you can fill out and get it to me. If I can help you, I will. Information is free. So I really would like everybody to stop paying, but 75% of all child support goes through garnishments. So, and employers get fined if they don't varnish. So I'll say just like how they have like a nationwide walkout or strike or whatever, everybody just stop paying and see how many people they could arrest in. So it's time. Well, it's being time, but it's now or never. We have elections coming up, and it's time to get busy. So if you want the letter, the template, and I'll send it to you. If not, you can just get it from here and send it out. If you want to customize it and put your name on it, just ask me for the link and I'll send it to you, and you can do whatever you want. Maryland, I put all the states. I'm done putting all the states out. So if you go to the photos on our page, excuse me, you'll see you'll see whatever state you're looking for, and I'll definitely put it on here when I get it together in a booklet for everybody. Thank you, Jane Doe. I appreciate you being here. I love your name. Oh, I was going. Chicago. Hey, David. Thank you, Jeremy. I really appreciate you guys. I really do see there's reforms going on in different states. Ohio's trying to pass a law. I don't know, forget, I think it's SB 125. I don't have it right in front of me, but there are some reforms going on, so I know that certain people are paying attention, and we just have to make more noise. We have to do more. Okay, Patricia, if you'll just go into the either send me a message or go to my send me an email, contact@thechildsupporthustle.com, and then I can send it out. So if I don't have any other questions, I will bid you all a very great evening. Happy Friday. And I know it gets frustrating, but we'll get it. Okay, thanks, Patrice. Remember, they can ignore one, they can ignore hundreds, but they cannot ignore thousands. Let's go. Bye. If I can turn it off. Bye, guys. Oh, one more question. What's up, chat? Oh, what's up, chat? I'm sure you've heard that 1,000 times. Oh, you're welcome, Maria. Oh, did he leave? Chuck, you still there? Okay, maybe he left. Okay, well, hopefully he'll send me a message. You're welcome. Is it McTag? Don't forget, make sure you get that itemized list and pull your case file. Make them give it to you to find out if you were properly served. If not, they don't have a case. File for a dismissal. And if you have, I was going to go, but if you have, if you feel like your rights are being violated, which they probably are 9 times out of 10, I always recommend people file a complaint with the Federal Child Support Enforcement Agency in DC, and you can email me and I'll send you the link. They've helped some. Sometimes they'll push it back to the state, but at least you'll get your voice heard in a lot of cases. A lot of times they'll push it down the road or whatever, but we have to start filing more complaints. Let's see. Can you email me? Oh Lord, I'll check it. I can if I can find them. Let me check with my friend Cash and see if he has anything specific, because I think he's in Illinois, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, and if you guys have any ideas on how what you think we can do to make this happen quicker, so we don't lose any more parents, Let me know. Okay? Okay, let me try this again. Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all.